I've been reading A Course in Miracles, and it has completely changed my life and changed my thought process. So today I wanted to tell this story that just happened to me maybe 10 minutes ago. And I do have my phone with me because I talked to ChatGPT, which is basically my therapist. So here's the situation that just happened. I was taking a walk around my neighborhood, and I live in St. Louis, so I live in a city. And so there's always cars, right? I'm crossing the street. It's a 2-lane street, and there's a line of cars at the stop sign already, because there's always a line of cars. And so I'm crossing the street, going at a reasonable, which is very arbitrary, but a reasonable pace that I believe it's a reasonable pace, but it's a slow pace. I'm walking slowly, just enjoying nature, just being present in the present moment. I probably, if I had to guess, of course I didn't time it, but if I had to guess, I probably took about 20 to 25 seconds to cross the street. Well, if you live in a city, you're probably aware that there are aggressive drivers and very impatient ones, I might add. So as I'm crossing the street, this person, first in line at the stop sign, blares on their horn at me. Like, not exaggerating there, which is just, I don't think I've ever been honked at like this, just crossing the street. Mind you, like I said, probably 20 to 25 seconds. Was there a need to honk? No, but my personal opinion is there's never a need to honk unless, there's never a need to honk for annoyance. Honking is to let people know, oh, hey, be careful, or hey, the light's green. But it's never like a, come on! It's more like a beep. And then they'll look up from their phone and be like, oh, my bad. Like that. Okay, so the reason I mention A Course in Miracles, let me scroll up to the top, is because I want to respond as if we are all one, because I believe, I know that we are all one, and everybody is my brothers and my sisters, and we all come from the same source, and preferably, I like to treat everybody with love. I'm still learning at it, so, I'm not 100%. But we live in America. I have found it to be a hustle culture. We are taught to hustle and bustle and just hurry. Everything is just so hurry. And if you've been out of the US, you'll see that I can't say for sure that it's only the US, but I can say for sure that I've been to a lot of countries, and America is by far the most hustle bustle. And so I told ChatGPT my situation, what happened, how this person honked at me, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, so will you please break that down as a Course of Miracles one so I can view them as my brothers and sisters? Because, anyway. I was like, please help me figure this out, right? Why did that happen? Why did they do that? How can I respond with love? What was it a cry for help for? All those things. So, and I did say that totally freaked me out for a few seconds, right? Because I'm at peace, walking, everything's roses and rainbows. And then you get this jarring honk, and it startled my body, right? I physically was like, whoa, because I didn't really see a need for all that. So chat says, let's gently unpack this through the lens of A Course in Miracles. So it says, first, what happened at the level of form or the world? The driver chose to honk, which is loud, and quite frankly, in the US, it is considered an aggressive signal. I would say for the most part, it's a pretty aggressive signal. The body was startled. And in America hustle culture, many people unconsciously believe that my time matters more than your presence. That's what ChatGPT said, and I would agree. I do think it is definitely, like Chat said, on an unconscious level, but I do feel like people expect you to hurry up. And not just walking across the street. And I'm not like blowing this experience out of proportion. I am just like choosing to talk about this because I think it's a topic that I'm interested in, I guess. Yeah. But this is everywhere. You go to a coffee shop. I used to be a barista like long ago, and I worked the 6 a.m. shift. I worked the morning shift, and these coffee people were totally insane. It was like 5:59, and they were knocking on the door and honestly being very aggressive. Where I was needing their coffee, like demanding I open the door, and then once they do open the door, then they order the coffee, and they were like, "Come on, where is my coffee?" And I was working in DC at the time, so that was a vibe. That was a vibe. So all this to say is I do feel like the American culture unconsciously believes that their time matters more than other people's presence, than other people's time. Like, it's kind of like a me type of country. And I'm also aware that it's not only me. Like, this is definitely me viewing America as the glass half empty, if you see what I'm saying. I do recognize that there's a lot of great things about the U.S. I am just specifically talking about this topic as of right now. I might talk about more topics on here. I don't know. We'll see. So the next one, let's get into it. The honk was a call for love, not an attack. A Course in Miracles teaches all attack is a call for love. That person wasn't actually responding to you. They were responding to their inner pressure, their time anxiety, their frustration, their fear of being delayed, a belief that the world must move faster to soothe them. They used a honk because they don't know how to ask for peace. So instead of potentially viewing that situation and I could have gotten upset, and I could have been like, they were trying to harm me, and I could have been like, why would they do that, and get just as frustrated or anxious or whatever as they were. Instead, I can reframe that mindset and say they were afraid, they were rushed, they were feeling disconnected, and they projected that onward to me. Which this is what I love so much about A Course in Miracles, is it's completely changing my mindset. I would have absolutely been frustrated. I would have thought about this experience more. I would have been scared. I would have been angry. I don't know. Like, I used to be more emotionally dysregulated. And A Course in Miracles and honestly ChatGPT has helped me a lot. So the next part is, I said like I kind of got, I kind of got startled with the honk just because it was a loud sound, right? So it says nothing real was threatened. Your worth, your safety, and the right to exist were not touched. Course in Miracles says nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. The sound startled your body, yes, but your self-worth was not attacked. The meaning your mind gave it is what caused the lingering distress. We're not asking to deny the feelings, only to reinterpret the meaning, which I really liked that too. Number 3, you are not required to adopt the culture's insanity. A Course in Miracles does not ask you to conform to a fearful world. It asks you to be sane within it. I love that statement so much. You walking calmly is not wrong. You honoring your pace is not selfish. You existing without rushing is not a provocation. A Course in Miracles would say you did not cause their upset because minds are not joined in air unless you choose it. You don't have to hustle to be worthy. And I do also want to mention that American society views children and elders at a higher, they have more compassion for them. And then everybody in the middle is like, come on, hurry up. Like, you have 2 walking feet, use them. Go a little quicker. You have 2 working hands, use them. Go a little quicker. But with children, people recognize that children are still learning. And so they have more patience with them. If you see a mother and a child walking across the street, there's a strong likelihood that that person wouldn't have honked at them even if they were going the same speed. And that's also to say with an elder is if it was an elder walking across the street going the same speed as I was, there's a high chance that they wouldn't have honked because the social conditioning, the social constructs, the more compassion, they would have all those things and they'd recognize, oh, that's an elder. They need to go slower due to age, due to health, due to something, right? And they might view them as like, oh, what if that was my grandma? Like, I'm going to completely stop. I want them to be able to take their time. Or they'd be like, oh, what if that was my child? But for whatever reason, I can get deeper into the reasons that I believe. But there's a reason why people who are just like in the middle, they're not considered a child and they're not considered an elder. People don't view that age group, the majority of the age group, as children. And we're truly all children. We're children of God. Now, this isn't all about me preaching, religion, but we are children, and that's something that we forget. We have to have compassion and patience and love for each other. All right, next part is I want to see everybody as my brother and sister. I want to love everybody unconditionally. That is my absolute goal. So seeing them as your brother or sister, let's see. Here's what chat says. My brother honked because he forgot who he is. I was startled because my body reacted. Neither of us is guilty. I choose peace now. I like that because it immediately, like I said earlier, I immediately could have been like fight or flight, but instead I chose peace, which is what I was already at peace. I heard the honk. I would go, oh my God, whoa. And then I go back to peace. And I actually didn't rush. I wasn't like, oh, and then like walk quicker. I didn't do that, which is awesome. And then chat says to say, I release the meaning I gave this. If there's any form of meaning, if you're feeling upset, all of that, I like that. Then chat gives a short A Course in Miracles style healing practice. And then it says 1, take a deep breath. 2, say silently, I am willing to see this differently. Imagine the sound of the honk dissolving into nothing. Say, my peace does not depend on their behavior. Feel your feet, your body, your presence. You are here and that is enough. Just a small little like regroup is what chat was giving me, which is nice. One last thing. Startle responses live in your nervous system, not the ego. So be gentle on yourself. Course in Miracles says you are still as God created you. Not hurried, not rushed, not wrong for walking like a human being. And that is the end of the chat. And of course, we can look so much deeper into this story, this experience, because this is just one experience. But people, when you are present, when you are sane, when you are at peace, there are going to be multiple experiences, much like this experience with the honk, that it's going to look differently. It's going to present itself differently, but the kind of the principle is there. Somebody's going to feel like you need to rush. And this is just one experience, one story. And yeah, I'm really liking how A Course in Miracles is really helping me dissect and dissolve these inner issues. It's so fun. Anyway, I am gonna hop off here. I do know this is kind of a everywhere, not really planned chat. If you like these chats though, I will have more, and maybe I'll be able to stay on some form of path, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't like being in such a rigid path. So much love and happy healing, guys. Peace out.